Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there lived a mighty king who ruled over his people with an iron fist. He believed himself to be the smartest and the most powerful man in the world, and expected everyone around him to agree. Every morning, he would stand on a golden throne and ask his ministers, "Am I not the greatest king you have ever seen?" And they would reply in unison, "Yes, O mighty king, you are the greatest." But deep down, the king knew that this was not entirely true. He might be powerful, but he was far from being the wisest. One day, while strolling through the bustling marketplace, he heard a young man saying to an old man, "I am so strong that I can lift up a huge boulder with just one hand." The old man calmly replied, "But I am stronger than you because I can lift up my feet up and walk away from this boulder." The king thought to himself, "Who is this wise man, and where is he going?" So he followed him from a distance. The wise man led the king to a beautiful garden full of blooming flowers and trees. The king, still in disguise, sat on a nearby bench to observe him. The wise man took a small tree sapling in his hand and said, "Oh, little tree, grow up quickly so that I can shade myself under your branches one day." The king couldn't help but laugh out loud, thinking to himself, "How can you sit here and fool around? You should instead go out into the world and do great things." Just then, a beautiful bird perched on the tree sapling and sang a melodious song. The wise man turned to the king and said, "Do you know what the bird just told me?" Puzzled, the king asked, "What did the bird say?" The wise man replied, "It told me that it was the wisest bird in the whole forest, and that its song was the most beautiful." The king couldn't resist the urge to test the wise man's wisdom. He approached him and said, "So you call yourself a wise man? Let me ask you a riddle. If I say that my crown is heavier than my head, is the statement true or false?" The wise man looked up at the king's crown and said, "Your statement is false, O mighty king, because wisdom is heavier than any crown." The king was taken aback by the wise man's response. He realized that he had been foolish to challenge a man who possessed true wisdom. The king removed his crown and placed it on the ground. As he did so, the wise man picked it up and placed it gently on the king's head. The king felt a sudden surge of humility and said, "You are right, wise man. I may be the king, but you are indeed wiser than me." From that day forward, the king became a humble servant of the wise man, learning from him every day and passing on his knowledge to his people. He understood that true strength lay not in one's possessions or power, but in their wisdom and humility. They say that once a year on the anniversary of this humbling experience, the king and the wise man would sit under the now mighty tree and reminisce about the day the king learned that even the mightiest need to listen. For wisdom begins with humility. That's all for today. Please subscribe for more updates.